Hey everybody, I'm back live again. Anyone who came to watch and got kicked by my live stream getting broken, it's back. I'm going to hit invite a couple times. It has a little different of a list of people to invite, but some of the people are probably get a second invite. Sorry about that. If you don't want to see the invites, that is. But yeah, we'll see about that, how that works, everything. So if anyone gets 2 invites from my videos and is just like, shut up, stop inviting me, I'm sorry about that anyway. Again, someone is just scrolled past my video. I just saw that, but cool. Hope it's working now. I don't know. Somebody can tell me if it's working in the comm. I don't know. Who knows? So I'm back live as far as I know, and I'm working back on this is picture illustration 88 of part 1 of Angelica, The Great Adventures of Angelica Cherryfur. Quercus Menorah and the 8 Elemental Stones. Super long title. I don't know if it'll stick. We'll find out. All right, my brother told me about how the live stream stopped, so I'm gonna go tell him it's up again. Up again. Okay. Oh, hey Greg, there you are. So at least it seems like the live stream is working. Let's find out. One thing, when the first live stream I did, the first hour was going fine, and then the other 2 hours that I live streamed didn't seem like they got recorded. Hey, thank you. Thanks for the update on how my live stream wasn't working. I can't tell for myself. All I'm doing right now is working on the book. So when it stops working, it doesn't tell me that it's not working. Hey, Mom. Thanks for joining again. Let's see. Gotta represent, right? No. I don't even know what I'm saying. All right. So, but yeah, I'm working on my book again. I've been working on my book. You can see it again. Right there. So, this is Angelica Cherryfur's backpack. She got it in Pistache, which is the desert village of the Herpo squirrel, which is a colony of squirrels that can turn into snakes. And they gave it to her for free because they wanted her to visit the ruins of Carmen Fox. And the village chief made her. You can see his picture in some other places. He basically commanded that the village people gave whatever they needed in their desert journey for free to Angelica and Dylan. So this is the backpack that she got. And it didn't look too bad from the last edit, but it was color is too normal. Last edit. Anyway, okay. So let's see. This is a little clasp connecting the top and the top of the backpack and the backpack itself. So like a latch, or I don't know what you call those. Clasp latch. Clasp latch. Right. Changing the brush size a little bit. That looks kind of crazy. Maybe zoom in a little bit so that I don't mess it up so much. it's shaped wrong. There we go. Okay, so this, I don't know how to embed my videos to YouTube or something, which would be nice if I could. There's probably a way to do it. I can embed this to a website, but I don't have a website yet. I want to get one, but I don't know anything about how to set that up. It costs money, which I don't have. But yeah, I want to get a website. I already have an online store and I don't have a website. What am I doing, right? Yeah, the decision to change into an illustrator, which is what I wanted to do from what doing physical work, which is what I stopped being able to do, was kind of so spontaneous, and I have not prepared. Right now, I'm living in Japan without really the way to make ends meet. I kind of want to move to America. Don't have a way to do that yet, but that's fine. Figure out that someday. Maybe if the books are successful, huh? We'll see. I see a lot of people in similar situations that are like setting up Patreons and doing all kinds of stuff. The problem with Patreons is I don't know, because I feel like people should have an incentive for paying for Patreons rather than just like having a button to press to pay money. They should have some reason to do that. So I don't have something like that set up right now. I'll look into it if anyone's actually willing to participate in something like that. But I don't really have that as a goal right now. I've had a couple friends say that I should put my book on a Kickstarter. The problem is, I don't even have my ISBN numbers yet, and I haven't seen my proof yet. I don't know how much shipping would cost. There's a lot of research I would need to do in order to get a Kickstarter that made sense running and have it actually fulfilled. Because if people paid me thousands of dollars for books in the event that they did, and I didn't know how to supply them with their books, I'd feel pretty bad about it, and I'd probably get a real bad rep about that. So I don't even want to try right now. I'm just going to make the books, make them available, make sure that everyone can find them, and that's it for now. I mentioned this last time. I think I don't know if I got through with what I was trying to say about it. I'm probably going to start this book out on, right now I'm thinking Kindle printer, KDP. They used to just do ebooks. Now they're doing print books. There's CreateSpace, but I was thinking with CreateSpace, but I can't figure out how to get an electronic money transfer to Japan from CreateSpace. Although I know some people are publishing on CreateSpace from Japan, I just don't know how expats do that. So Kindle is listed as being able to pay to Japan, so I have my account kind of mostly set up there. Okay. I have some of the book information uploaded there too, so that'll be easier to work with. Once Kindle is done, KDP, once the book is out, once I have book 1 and 2, I'm gonna try to go with Inventspark, but they charge $50 to even upload the data for your book. So every single version of the book is gonna cost money to use them, and that's good for them. But I don't have the money right now to do $50 a version. So what's gonna happen is that I think for the hardcover version that I'm going to have Ingram do, it's going to be all three of the Part 1, Part 2, Part 3 of Quercus Minora and the Elemental Stones available in one book for the first time. And I might make a soft cover version of that as well, but that might go from KDP instead of Ingram. Although, if I get the money and everything's all set up, I might do Ingram versions as well, because just so that for the paperback, just so that it'll be available in bookstores and everything. But yeah, I'm super new to publishing. I know a lot of people suggest traditional publishing. With the time, even with the deadline that I have, I can't traditionally publish because I can't wait for the answer that I need to wait for if it's a yes. And if it's a no, I can't rehash and start from the beginning and go to a different publisher. So there, that looks a lot better. The latch. How much time I spend on little tiny details, right? A lot of people who are super professional and have been doing it for years and years and years spend a lot more time on little tiny details. So yeah, little tiny details are important, but they don't really show up very much in the book. They just look a lot better when they're worked out. Could spend hours and hours working on tiny little things that no one will ever see, but it won't be a waste of time. It's good practice, and it makes things overall look better, even if you can't see them completely. So, little black stuff here doesn't belong. So, yeah, I don't know who's watching right now, but thanks for watching. Someone's going to be watching later. Thanks for watching then, too. If you're not on my Facebook friends list, hit that add friend button now, because you don't, not now, but when you want to. There's no reason to stay away from being on my friends list. You get to be able to see any updates that I have on the book. And we can talk about, working on other books. We can talk about how to do things. I'm still figuring a lot of things out. I need feedback too. This is my first book, and I have no idea what I'm doing compared to some people, but I'm really trying to do it as professionally as possible. But yeah, if you're a publisher and you see this, I'm not completely against the idea of doing traditional publishing. It's just that right now I don't have the funds to get an agent. I don't have the time to do everything in the traditional way right now. But if this book interests you and you want to publish it, the only real reserve I have is that I want the book to be available forever. I don't want it to be like 5,000 copies and then we're done with our first print run and we're not going to print it anymore. So that's the main reason why I decided to choose self-publishing other than the time constraint. Also, I want to be able to make the whole series rather than make whatever the publisher wants and then give up because they don't want the rest of it. So that's one reason why one of my friends, Tristan, stopped publishing with his publisher because they didn't want the rest of his series, and he still wanted his series, and that makes sense. Like, the fans still want the series, he still wanted the series. Why is the series stopping? Because the publisher doesn't have time to produce the rest of it or whatever, doesn't meet their interest anymore. I don't want that happening with my books. So yeah, Right now, I don't have any way of being set up to be paid for anyone by anything. By anyone for anything. I'm sorry, I say things backwards sometimes. I don't think I have dyslexia, but I was basically diagnosed with ADHD. Although I have heard conflicting, I don't know if the rumors or conversations about whether ADHD really exists or not, whatever. But if it does, I'm affected by it because at least I don't know if it really does exist based on what some people say, but at least I match up with the diagnosis, and I do feel like it's hard to concentrate on lots of things, and I have a lot of the troubles that it lists as having. So even if it's not real, or if it is real, I've felt like I've been dealing with it since I was a little kid. It might just be the artist in me. But yeah, when I was in school, always doodling on everything. Find paperwork, homework, anything, schoolwork, it's all covered in doodles. If it's not, then I was just not there. You could, if any of my old teachers comes and see this, yeah, my science teacher, I forgot everyone's name, I'm very sorry. My science teacher in high school, in the senior year, when I was taking a freshman class in the senior year, on chemistry, she liked my pictures that I did. Yeah, but I never really thought I was going to be able to do it professionally ever, because I don't know. School basically teaches you that if you don't spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on college, and if you're not doing something that is working for someone else, you're not going to make any money. You're not going to make a career out of it. And even though there were art careers that I saw happening, it didn't seem like art was a career. It seemed like something that people do that like art. And I always liked art, and I've always done art, but I never tried to do anything with it up until now. So I really regret a lot of the wasted time. But at least I haven't been avoiding art because I didn't think it would be money or anything. I've always been working on art. It's not just drawings and stuff. I like drawings, but I've been doing some clay models. I made for any Legend of Zelda fans, I made a Hyrule Castle model with my daughter. There's a video of it on my YouTube. I can if I still have it. I think I still have it. If I still have it, I can take some more photos. I have some old photos of it somewhere on my computer. I made yesterday on my timeline. I posted a Midna mask that I made for my daughter. She asked me to make a Midna mask because it's one of her favorite characters. Midna is one of the little followers of Link in Twilight Princess. Well, not one of them. She rides on his back when he's a wolf. She basically tells him what to do for a lot of the storyline. That's the thing with Zelda series. There's always someone riding on Link or hanging out with Link or flowing around Link. Navi, Fi, Tail. There's several different characters that stick to Link and tell him what to do all the time. And a lot of people don't like how noisy they get. But Midna is she's the Twilight Princess in Twilight Princess, so that's a big story character, and my daughter really likes her. I made her mask. I don't know if I said that just now, but I just said it. That doesn't make any sense. Said it, didn't say it, said it, whatever. Who knows? I'm rambling. That's what I do. Copycat of Will Terry. No, I'm not copying him everything, but the idea of rambling while I take videos is definitely copied. Tyrus Gaucher, friend of mine on Facebook, good guy, makes good videos. Danny's Rexer. Hey. Yep. Yeah. Rambling while I make videos makes it so that people can know who is drawing here. Jeffrey Cameron Sir, self-proclaimed illustrator. No college degree. Took one class on drawing in college. I want to do more learning in classes and stuff, but I don't have the time or money. And I'm living in Japan. And I probably wouldn't understand what they're saying, even though I'm completely fluent in Japanese. Because you get into all that Senmon Peki Nihongo and it just gets all confusing. Plus, yeah, I don't have the money, so I'm not even going to try to go there. With the online school that they're doing in Utah, SVS, that Will Terry is doing, that seems pretty interesting. I don't have the time right now. But yeah, I've been interested in online schooling, but I have way too much to do with this book series right now to even think about it. I know I probably shouldn't have jumped into working on this book without knowing anything, but at least I'm trying to learn while I go. So the flaws of the imperfect, huh? At least it's better than never, ever working on a book. I made any of you Mario fans out there? I made this silly hand-drawn, handwritten cardboard book about Mario called Mario Legend for my daughter, and that was the first book I ever made that ever got finished, but it's never going to be published because it's not good. So, but yeah, that was fun making that, and I wanted to do something like that again, but actually make it professional. I also tried to work on this book. I don't think I gave it a title. It was about this old man who was visited by a lumber elfling, is what I called it. Little tiny man who basically is from this group of people who builds in people's houses, builds their own cities and stuff. And that was a kind of an interesting idea. And I drew some of the pictures, but it didn't have the quality that I knew that is needed in the industry. So somewhere along the line, I gave up after drawing a few pages. Let's see. I'm going to save that real quick so it doesn't disappear. I'm going to hide this stop sharing button because it's annoying. I'm just going to smudge out these places. There's too much to paint over. Let's see. After I sponge it out, I can paint back the textures a little bit, but this these little black streaks are really annoying. They're not supposed to be there. They're not part of the composition or anything, so they just don't belong. But yeah, they're gone now, as far as I know. Okay, out of there. Alright, let's see. A little bit wider areas here. Put the texture back. What do we have here? I'm gonna put a little bit of reflected light on, not reflected, I don't know. A little bit of light on his cloak here because it's all basically one color, and want to lighten it up a little bit. Maybe too much, who knows. So for anyone who hasn't seen that, I uploaded a hoodie for Angelica Cherryfur's Garb of the Magi, which is what this is, and I uploaded Alden Leaf Dagger, which is the Magi of Life's T-shirt, which is, should have a cloak like this, but I can't figure out a way to do that. But there's this 3D generated shirt on the model there on the website, and you can see this guy wearing the shirt that no one's printed yet. But yeah, it's just pretty cool. Go and check that out. Put a little bit of purple in here. Okay, that looks like it's pretty nice. The cloak needs a little lot more lightening up. So one thing in the consideration when I'm making this is if it's going to be in a book, it's going to be about this. It's going to be about 4 inches wide or something. It's not going to be too big. But this illustration, I want to be able to use it as prints, and want people to be able to see it online in certain places. I don't want to just go in and assume that because the book is going to be small, the picture needs to be small, and no one's going to care about the tiny details. Because if I ended up printing these as like a poster or something, and the details were really crappy, the poster details would be really crappy. And I don't know what the longevity of the picture is, but if I make something low quality, the longevity is going to just go away completely. So that's something that I've been considering as I make these. I want to make them high enough quality that if in the event that someone actually decides to print them as a product themselves in one illustration, it actually seems like a product rather than just a doodle on computer canvas. So let's see. Make two red. There we go. Lower part, a little bit different color. Let's see. Where are we at? Remember some of the color differentiation there. This one doesn't have anything in here yet. There we go. Okay. So hopefully someone will come back and comment on the video when it's done. Hopefully the video will get good enough quality. So that it doesn't end up having cut out part of the video like last time. I don't know what happened with part one of this of today's live stream, because yeah, my brother told me it stopped working. I can't tell from my side at all. It's gone or it's there. That's all. But yeah. So if anyone types a comment in there right now, as far as I know, I can see it. Don't see any comments for a while, but that's okay. For some reason, it confuses me when I'm looking at this, and it seems stagnant. But I'm pretty sure I'm live anyway. All right, let's see. So this is I'm working on his bow and arrow case. Getting rid of some of the unnecessary black stuff, putting in a little bit of color. It's not too bad with the black stuff. It's not as bad as the other parts of the picture were. All right, thanks. There's a small line coming from his chin that seems a CD. Seems a CD. Odd. Okay. I was like, it seems a CD. I like that. Okay. Okay. That one? I don't know. Zoom in. Little things. All right. Feedback is amazing. Really helpful. That's not black. No. Thanks for the heads up. That was really helpful. I probably wouldn't have noticed it by myself. That's one good reason to live stream your work, because even if I was super experienced, if I'm working under this kind of situation where I'm working by myself and I'm working without any feedback at all, no way to know if everything's all perfect until I get done with it and I print it out and oops, the place there is messed up, right? So so let's see. I'm gonna add some more color to his face. Lighten it up a little bit. So yeah. This the older versions of these pictures, everyone looked like rats or foxes or something, or not foxes, wolves. Yeah, but not in all of the pictures. But I mean, yeah, that's how it was with some of these, and I really spent a lot of time making them look not the same but consistent. And I know of this is not a reference picture. Some of these illustrations have references. Like I looked at a squirrel while drawing it or something like that. Some of them are reference pictures, but I want to draw it in my own style, not draw an exact squirrel. So there are some things that are close to being exact squirrels, but these are the squirrels of agrifolia. They're not earth squirrels. They don't have the same anatomy as earth squirrels. So trying to make them the same as earth squirrels would be silly. And they finally look kind of how I want them to. Yeah, there we go. stand up straight like real squirrels do when you're taking photos of them. But yeah, real squirrels don't stand up straight all the time. So don't get me started about what real squirrels do, because real squirrels, real squirrels strangle chickens. Okay. So there we go. There's a lot of things that people think about squirrels. Squirrels eat nuts, and that's all they do. They put acorns in their mouths and they store them there, and that's all they do. That's not true. Okay, so there's a lot of interesting facts about squirrels anyway. And a lot of things I still don't know yet, right? It doesn't really matter though, because as long as I'm somewhat consistent with the real squirrels, these are still not real squirrels. So yeah, that's fine, right? Let's see. So right now I'm noticed a few little problems here after the little part of on the chin that Greg mentioned for me. Little tiny problems. That dot doesn't belong there. This doesn't belong there. There's a couple tiny hairlines of strange color there. That needs to be thinner. There's no line here. This needs to be lighter. A lot lighter. Getting messages from Suntory. Right. And Coca-Cola. All right, let's see. All right, let's see what we got. There we go. Here's hours and hours of, I don't know if this is entertainment or grinding, but this is what I do. This is me working exactly how I work normally, except for I can have people see it and not just the end product. So yeah, I like this. Not getting paid yet, but I will work on this as if I'm being paid thousands and thousands of dollars an hour, just in case, right? Want to make it as good as I can. If I have as many fans as I hope I do, I don't want to disappoint any of them. If I get any fans along the road, and I hope I do, I don't want to disappoint them either. So I want to make this book as good as I can, and I don't want to disappoint myself with it either. So I don't want to have him here with an arm that ends in preferred quality at the edge of his arm. Okay. But yeah, so I'm trying to make this as good as I can make it. don't have as much time to make it as good as I want to make it, but it's finally looking like how I wanted it to in the first place. Now I have bigger dreams for how my art wants to look, but it doesn't necessarily mean I can do everything perfect. But yeah, I learned a lot about composition and color and how to use GIMP and all sorts of stuff. It's been really helpful in the last couple months. You really got to thank everyone who's been helping me with feedback and with advice and everything. There's tons of people in the children's book illustrating group who gave me a lot of good advice about how my pictures were too dark and what I needed to change and learn and everything else. Got to thank Gabriel Tumblad, fellow illustrator. He did a sketch of a 3D painting of Angelica's face for me, and looking at that, I got into the realization that what I actually wanted to do was paint fur onto the characters rather than just have them be monotone with no shadows or anything. My original version of the book would have been done by December, but it would have been really crappy in comparison to what it is right now. So with all the help of understanding what I wanted to do with this and what I needed to do with it, I've gotten to get this book so much farther than what I originally thought was possible. So really have to thank everybody. Tyrus Gaucher, Jake Barker, Bill Terry, Lee Rothrock, Archimedes, Neil Austin. There's so many names of people. I can't get to everyone. Hope Masara. Everyone on my friends list who has been supportive. A lot of people who aren't even on my friends list yet. Really helpful. Greg has been really helpful, especially during this live stream. I've gotten so many little tips of what to do, of what's missing, all that. Really, I don't know. I'm the one doing all the work, but I really couldn't have done it without all the support from and advice from everyone. So. Yeah, there's so many people who just help. Really been a lot of help to me. This is, let's see. Yeah, I got started in June. Did 300 pencil sketches. My dad helped me get a tablet. My brother-in-law helped me get a laptop. Wife's parents helped me get some other stuff for that. My dad helped me get a scanner. A lot of things that I just couldn't do in my financial situation. Really got a lot of financial help with this book and with a lot of other things. Really hope things pull out with the book series, or at least with my illustration, because I'm striving for the stars. So reach for the sky. I don't know what is the good word to use there. Whatever. Everyone who comes and helps joining the live stream, really helpful. Anyone who joins the test and feedback group and is giving feedback or is going to give feedback, that's really, really helpful too. On there, you can see all of the pencil sketches if you look for them. You can see the scans. You can see the original Hey, Jason, cousin, I think cousin. Welcome. Yeah, so up on the TGAOAC test and feedback group, you can find it. Hopefully, you can find it in my profile or on my timeline or something. If you want to invite, I'll invite anyone. Anyone can join on their own accord. That is where all of this gets posted before I turn it into a book. The entire series is probably going to go into there. I have some sub-series that I'm thinking about making spin-offs with some of the other characters that'll appear in the series, doing their own little adventures. I'm probably going to make some short picture books for children. This one's going to be a little longer. The way I have it right now, it's a full novel with pictures in it. So, but yeah, there's going all of the content related to that when it's ready is going to be hopefully first and foremost available there, if not on the live stream or in the comments. I'm going to once I finish this picture, I'm almost done. I'm going to wrap up the live stream after that. So, what character is this? This is Dylan Furtalon. He's Angelica Cherryfur's companion and the chief of Oakfeather Village. This is Svein Verfest. He is the Magus of Lightning in the Hidden Valley of the Magi in the eastern part of Agrifolia in Quercus Minora. Thanks for the questions. That was awesome. I love questions. So if you want to read the PDF version of what we have right now, it really needs polishing, but there's a version of that up in the test group. There's a few sketches that I did that I haven't put anywhere because I don't know if they're actually going to be. Oh, good. That's a good response. Oh, wow, cool. I like those responses. Thanks. Let's see. So I'm working on the color of his pant leg right now. After I finish this illustration, I'm going to have to wrap up the live stream for now because I got to eat lunch and do other stuff. But hopefully I'll be doing another live stream soon. Maybe tomorrow, maybe another day. But when this one's done and when the one after is done, and even if it doesn't make it in a live stream, every illustration is going to be up on the test group soon. So you can see all of the stuff there. I think I have the newest versions penned in an album at the top of the group, but I don't know how visible it is on other people's accounts. For me, it's there at the top all the time. It always saying that the most recent activity, Jeff added some pictures or something on my computer. I don't know what it looks like for everybody else. So. Facebook has been a little bit confusing with the way it's doing notifications recently. Okay, let's see. So this Quercus Minora, the name of part of the name of the first book, and the name of the subcontinent that they live on. It actually means little oak in scientific language or Latin or something. In Quercus Minora. Little Oak is a subcontinent on the world of Lucarius. It is where Angelica Cherryfur, the main character, and Dylan Furtalon, who is a Falco squirrel, and these Magi and a whole bunch of other people are from. It's a continent where small creatures live, for the most part. So there aren't any big things like bears and stuff. But the big creatures actually live in other continents. And those will be in different books. The first book is about Angelica and her adventures through her own subcontinent. And after that, she's going to be going to other continents and other subcontinents and islands and stuff in different books. But in the first book, there is no antagonist. It's just her adventuring and lots of things happening. There are a couple boss monsters, as you would call them if you're playing a game. A couple monsters that she encounters, that she fights. But there's no antagonist. There might be antagonists later on in the story. We'll see. I'm plotting out the book story by actually drawing pictures. It's not a very conventional way of making a book. I don't even know if it's a successful, good way to make a book, but it's how I'm going to be doing it. It's how I did the first one. And I think I'm going to do the next one the same way. I'm trying to move this up so that I can access some things, but it's trying to full screen on me. I can't even access the toolbar I need to access. So let me see. I'm gonna make it a little smaller and move it up again and hope for it. Okay, it didn't try to full screen on me. There we go. I'm gonna add another layer. White. This layer is going to be not white, but a little kind of tan color. I'm going to change it to soft light. I'm going to reduce the opacity of that layer. I don't need any God rays or anything because this is inside. The door is not open. There's nothing being cast. I'm going to put a little bit of blue light around the hands here because that's where the lightning is, and over here. No, I don't need that there. Shadow over here. Okay. A little bit of shadow, a little brighter light on the shoulders and stuff, on the faces. Okay, that's pretty polished. I'm going to go in the other picture that I just worked on in the other live stream. Copy the signature. Transparency, layer 8, paste, signature. Try to move it with my pen tablet. It's not working very well. Okay. So that is illustration number 88 of part 1 of book 1. It's going up on the feedback group, and it's going to go into my document that I have here after this. And that's the final product. It'll be a part of a book. It's going to be available as puzzles and prints and all kinds of things eventually. And there we go. Thanks for watching. I'm going to have to wrap up this live stream, but thanks for coming and watching. And I'm going to share this. See you later.